Good morning, students. Today we learn about the module 4, decision trees, regressions, artificial neural networks, cluster analysis, association rule, mining. Now, what is meant by a decision tree? Decision tree are a simple way to guide one's path to a decision. For example, decision tree can generate a knowledge from a few test instances that can be applied to a broad population. Decision tree are hierarchically branched structures that help one come to a decision based on asking certain set of questions in a particular sequential orders. So, decision may be a simple binary one, whether to approve a loan or not, or it may be a complex multi-valued decision as to what may be the diagnosis for a particular sickness. So, decision tree can generate a knowledge from a few test instances. We'll go with the one by one small examples and the case study. Now here is a small case study how to take a decision and how to construct a decision predicting in a heart attack patients. So before going to the case study, there are some set of constraints. We'll have a statement of the problem. So statement of the problem is, imagine a conversation between a doctor and a patient. The doctor asks questions to determine the cause of an ailment. The doctor would continue to answer questions till he or she is able to arrive at a reasonable decision. If nothing seems plausible, he or she might recommend some test to generate more data option. This is a one type of conversation between a doctor and a patient to take one decision or to come to a decision instances. So we will say some set of conditions here. Now, what is the condition? The patients were diagnosed with a heart attack from a chest pain, diagnosed by ECG, high enzymes level in their heart muscles, and also the objective was to predict which of these patients was at a risk of dying from a second heart attack within the next 30 days. So this is about the objective of the problem definition. Suppose the prediction would determine the treatment plan, such as whether to keep the patient in intensive care or not. Each patient's more than 100 variables were collected, including the demographics, medical history, lab data, using the data and the CART algorithm before constructing a decision tree. One more constraint. The decision tree should that if a blood pressure was low, that is less than 90, then the chances of another heart attack or a second heart attack is 70% high. If the patient's BP was okay, the next question to ask who was the patient age. If the age is less than 62, there is a survival, 98% of survival of chances. Suppose if it is greater than 62, then we have to ask another set of question. The first question is, if there is a sinus was okay, then the chances of survival was 89%. Otherwise, the chance of survival dropped to 50%. So what I want to conclude, this is about the conversation between a doctor and a patient and how the second heart attack chances are more, whether I have within a 30 days, and what is the age factor. If the age factor is 62, then what type of questions I have to undergo. If it is more than 62, what type of question next I should ask, whether he is having a sinus. What is the probability whether the patient is going to get a second heart attack within the next 30 days. So this is about the objective of the problem, set of constraints to the problem, and how the questions will lead to take the decision for the above mentioned or as shown in the problem statement decision problem. Now we will take another problem. A decision may have to tree would have a predictive accuracy based on how often it may correct the decision. For example, the more training data is provided, more accurate its knowledge extraction will be. So if there are n number of samples of data, then we can get the quality of the data, the accuracy of the decision will be more high. Or more variables the tree can choose from, the tree will come out better with a higher accuracy. This is a one catchy word. If there are more variables in the tree can choose, then the tree will come out with a better high accuracy of decision. In addition to this, a good decision tree should also be fragile, so that it takes in a least number of questions and least amount of effort to get the right decision. So my dear students, always remember the past data or the large number of data leads to an accuracy, and yes, there will be a good quality of a data, and not only that, the number of questioning and answering should be very less, and it should lead to a right decision. So this is about the decision tree construction procedure. Now we'll go with one more case study. Now here the problem statement says a decision tree I have to create that helps to make a decision about approving the play on the outdoor game. That is, the problem is I have to approve the play on the outdoor game. So to take a decision of approval, then what is the objective is to be predict. Now the play decision is given based on the atmospheric condition. The decision is should the game be allowed or not. Here is a decision problem. There are 5 criteria I am taking. One is with outlook, one is with the temperature, humidity, windy. Based on these things, we are going to check whether approval to the play of outdoor game is allowed or not. Now here can you see outlook will talk about the sunny weather, temperature talks about the hot temperature, humidity of the environment is normal or not, whether it is a windy, if it is yes, what is it then, if it is no, what it leads. So these are the 4 categories or the strategies we are going to think about the decision before approving the play of a game on the outdoor. Now here you can see one small exercises how the outlook has been considered, what is the temperature, what is the humidity, what is the windy, whether it's a true or a false, whether we are recommendable to play or not. So I'll go with one small example. You can see the set of data, almost 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 samples of data has been collected before going to construct the decision tree. Whether the 3 category outlook, I will concentrate on sunny, overcast, rainy, sunny, overcast and rainy. Temperature will talks in a 3 category. One is hot, one is mild, another one is cool. The humidity talks with high and normal. Wind talks whether a true or a false. Based on this probability, outlook if it is sunny and it is hot and it is high humidity and there is no falsity, then I cannot give an approval for play a game on outdoor. Similarly, you can see one yes condition. If there is a sun is outlook is overcast, temperature is hot, humidity is very high and there is no windy, then there is a chances of giving an approval for playing in a game. So these are the 15 test example cases to take a decision whether to approve for playing outdoor or not. Now we will decide one by one. Here, if there were a row of sunny, hot, normal and windy condition in the data table, it will match the current problem. Then decision from the situation should be answered, the problem say. However, so you should remember this condition. Outlook should be sunny, it should be hot, then it should be normal and yes, windy is yes or no. So you can see here, outlook, temperature, humidity, windy. Based on these 4 constraints, then I can take a decision whether to play yes or no. Now, determining the root node of the tree. So, to know the root node of the tree, we are having 4 choices of questions based on the 4 variables, that is outlook, temperature, humidity and wind. First, root. A criterion should be used by which one of these questions gives the most insight about the situation. Then, if the criteria of regularity is a good one, that is which question will be provided as the shortest ultimate tree. Another way to look at this is that if one is allowed to ask only one question, which should be one objective I have to take. The most important question should be on that by itself helps makes the most correct decision with the fewest error, very small set of errors. So this is about how I have to raise a question based on these 4 choices to reach to the root of the decision tree. So we'll go with the one by one. Now start with the variable outlook. So you can see the presentation. Outlook, if the rule is sunny, if it is no, there is a chances of error 2 out of 5. You can see here, if there is a overcast, if outlook is overcast is yes, then there is 0 errors, then there is a chances of saying yes decision. So this is about outlook is considered as the attribute. What is the rules, whether it is a sunny or it is a overcast. If it is sunny, what is the chances of errors? If it is a overcast is yes, what is the chances of error? Then we can identify the total number of errors. So this is the how to handle the one choice called as outlook. Similarly, we can see if there is a rain, yes, then there is a 2 errors and total errors can be taken as one is sunny 2 and another is rainy yes,